the first idea I had is a complete rehaul or like a complete redo of the way we do hiring. Okay, we still have the cadets line up on floor zero, but with the way the hackers have been behaving and the way shit's been going recently and how like not so, and you know how it's been, my suggestion is, because there's not going to be no supervisor vested help many ways, we bring the badge into the hiring fold. Okay, and I might be crazy for this, but they're going up to floor two anyway, so why does it matter? But the way this works is we completely remove the MGs out of the gym because the MGs like to chat while they're waiting. That's obvious. So we move the MGs to floor two and have them wait up there. Whenever a cadet gets accepted and he passes through the line, he goes into the gym still. But this time we have a badged officer ferrying the cadets up to floor two because we have all those chairs out there in the waiting room. Once a cadet makes it up here, they get explained to because they've got to have a working mic if they make it up here. So they're like, hey, have a seat in the chairs and MG will come out to grab you soon. And then they're taken to their interview from there. That way, keeping some of the traffic down so if those hackers are assholes again and try to drive through the gym, there's less bodies to run over. Because all of the badge and maybe some of the vested will be waiting in the gym to ferry cadets up.
So that does sound like a good idea. The only downfall I see from that is having all the cadets in. So pretty much you want to have them sit all in the seats over here in the lobby. As soon as you get off the elevators on floor two, have them sit out in all the seats out here, and we'll be conducting the uniforms, the me's and do's in here still, but y'all will still be sitting. You'll have all the cadets sit out here in this room, so you can't interrupt us in the roll call room, right?
Yeah, but we just impose an act of silence, right? Like, you know, like we're going to explain to them, like we pass it out to all the badges and the MGs, like, hey, we're just letting you guys know that we're going to be doing a lot of onboarding here. We're doing a lot of, unless you're in an interview, you need to remain silent. Just like and this will also train them for when they get to classes, because when they get to the classes, they're damn sure not going to be talking over us. I know they ain't going to be talking over me. So when we bring them up here and we have them see, be like, hey, if we catch you talking, chatting, dancing, doing any of that extra, you will be taken back to floor zero and your interview will be failed for the day. We ain't even gonna play the fiddle.
Nope, I agree with that 100%. I think that's a good idea. I think we should more or less leave it up to the vested officers to bring all the cadets up here, because you got to think when we do the interviews, once we do all the interviews and we're done, the only reason why they should be coming up to floor two, I feel like, is because they're ready for their me's and do's. They did pass the RPs and everything, and they're ready for their me's and do's in their suit. That's the only reason why they should be coming up to floor two, because at the end of the day, something happens and we got a whole bunch of cadets, and now they thought they had their requirements and now they ain't. You know, now what it's supposed to say they ain't gonna log off or go rogue and run around. We'll have all these cadets running around on floor two now.
Yeah, that makes sense. But also, that's why we position the vested officers and split them apart, and also the badged officers, because the badged officers don't really have nothing to do with hiring. So if we set a couple of badged officers up here to babysit the white shirt cadets while they're waiting for their interview, you know, like if we have a bunch of white shirt cadets sitting right here, like this whole entire slot is filled with white shirt cadets, we have a badged officer sitting right here, making sure they're staying quiet and doing what they're supposed to do, just sitting with them. You know, everybody does their part.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. What's another idea you got?
We can go back to the lunchroom.
I am. I'm gonna eat your food.
My other ideas. Oh, wrong table. Hold on, I'm coming. My other ideas start to sort of revolve around Uppard, which, you know,
Sort of what?
I gotta be honest, I'm probably gonna butt heads with Key a little, because for some reason Key wants Uppard to do more shoot shit, and it's always been my prerogative that if you want to shoot shit, that's fine, just transfer to SWAT. But if I was able to get an OIC position in fucking Uppard, right, I want to launch green zone patrols. I'm not talking like full on operations, but I am saying, like, if you're a part of Uppard, you should be out there at least two to a car, right, rolling through all the work job sites and green zones, not the gang houses. Let me be clear, because the green zones and the work jobs are like packed full of arrests if you go looking for them. And we're Uppard. We're supposed to be patrolling the green zones, but nobody is doing the shit. Like, They're just
So,
not.
like, I'm even gonna say this on your body cam because Tony knows this too. I ain't the biggest supporter of it, but you can definitely tell when I left, a lot of shit changed when I left Upward.
Yeah, yeah, faux shizzle, and it's been that way for a while. And most people when they join Upward, they're not even given they're not really given a packet of what we do in Upward. Like I've had so many people within Upward come to me and be like, "What the hell do I even do besides floor 1 and HP?" And I have to explain them what our prerogatives and duties are, right? And patrolling the work jobs is fun. Hell, I've gotten like 5 arrests so far at the lumber camp. And you're like, how the hell did you get arrested at the lumber camp? People are up there running around with their guns out. Hell, I arrested one person for extortion one time up there because he was walking back between the trees yelling at people to work, work, work with his gun out. Like, no, like you're extorting people.
Oh my god, that's like slavery.
Yeah. Like, dog, that's why, again, as OIC of Upward, if I was made into the position, and it's not going to be popular, right? And what I'm going to say next really isn't going to be popular, but I would 100% have, like, people going between work zones, have, like, 2 or 3 teams of Upwards, 2 people to a car, just driving and rotating between the work zones, remain in place for, like, 10 to 15 minutes, and also the area of patrol like depends on how popular it is. See, because when I was on vacation, I wasn't out there just lollygagging. I was a little bit, but mainly what I was doing is I was going around to every single work job, working them, seeing what the level requirements are, seeing what you get, and I made a list of what jobs make the most money and what jobs make the least. The jobs that make the most money are the ones I want to hit heavy on because that's where everybody is going to be at. And mechanic is at the top of that list.
So I just want to also put in there, I think it's a good idea. Oh shit, I just had my train of thought. Now it's lost. What was I saying? Fuck, that is such a great idea to add on to that. So when it comes to like the green zones like that, so if you end up having like 2 or 3 patrol cars, so you got 2 cars of 3, right? Two patrol cars, 3 people in each car. You tell them to go from green sectors, go up in the hills and start from west to east, and then tell the other one to start from east to west, and then report back to you with what you see, and then, wait for the more details when you come back to me. That's what chain of command is. You're reporting back to your higher officer, to your officer in command. You're reporting back to your officer in command of that unit, and he's going to give you more details on what you're going to be doing next, shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. See, now that's a good idea because I'm even going to be out there on the field myself because I've seen where we'll have like 5 or some MGs on. We'll have like, who's a fucking upper MGs? Let me think. Sometimes we'll have Key, Jacob, me, and Striker before he retired. That's 4 MGs. And somehow all 4 MGs will be completely just crowded and huddled together on floor 1. And I'm like, dog, we have this many MGs. Let's forward deploy somebody to the hospital. Take a car of 3, 1 MG, 2 officers, and forward deploy to the hospital. Stand there for like 30 minutes. Clear that lobby. That way we ain't got to get called in another 30 minutes because somebody's up there acting the ass. Like I'm telling you, man, we should not, like Upward is one of the biggest and most active units in this department. Why the hell is there 15 officers on floor 1, but nobody in the PD parking lot? Nobody inside HP. Nobody's patrolling the work zones. We're all just huddled here on floor 1, waiting for the cadet class.
So did you hear this morning what my idea was when I was talking to Smoke Dread? Or no? Were you here this morning?
No, sir, I wasn't.
Alright, so I mentioned out and everybody in class. I said, I came up with a new idea on the spot and I ran with it. I told them, I said, for all these people because once you become a badge, you and I both know you got to decide what unit you want to be in. So, with that being said, did you, NRP speaking, have you ever remember going back and going to school and having like them career days to choose a path for what you want to do? So, I want to do the same thing like that, but I want to call it unit day. So instead of a career day, because obviously you're a PD officer already, so that's your career, but I want to call it unit day. So you get all the officers as officers in command of each unit, and we'll all meet up in the gym somewhere or somewhere on floor 2 in a meeting room, and then we'll be seated or standing around somewhere, and then we'll have all these new unbadged officers coming in once a week. We'll do this. All these new unbadged or newly badged officers that aren't in a unit yet, that could get and talk to each and every officer in command of the unit. We give a little brief rundown. Each officer in command of the unit will go one by one, explaining what the unit is, what they do, what they entail, what your requirements are, what we're expected of you, and then boom, that'll be the end of that. The next unit will say the same thing, and then the units, the unbadged officers and the badged officers will then decide on the spot if they want to, or they will give themselves a day or two to think about it. But by the third day, you have to be choosing a unit, because at the end of the day, I think it's unfair for these officers who are newly badged picking a unit, not realizing what they're getting themselves into, and then next thing you know, they're risking a 3 to 7 day cooldown because they didn't realize what they were getting themselves into the unit when they could have started out in the unit they wanted to and to begin with. But now you got to wait 3 to 7 days. So now I just want to give people a little bit of more of an opportunity to know what they're getting themselves into. And if you have all the officers in command of those said units once a week, that could work in everyone's time, and just briefly go over your unit and what you do and what's expected and what we need from you. I think that'd be a good idea and a good opportunity to really stop this shifting units all the time, and to give somebody a career opportunity, more of it.
Hell yeah. See, I fuck with that. Because so many people I meet, like Keith Red fans, I think he should have been SWAT. Right, he wants to shoot shit, but he also wants to run upper. And there's also a bunch of people I meet who return to upper because they're so used to being on floor 1 as cadets that they simply just go back home, or more so where their brain is telling them home is. And then they find out they want to do something else, or they like detective, or they like SWAT. And that's fine. We just want you to be happy and be in the best field you're going to excel at. Because if you're in upper, but you're not meant for upper, well, you see, there's the problem. Like, if you're a good shooter and you love shooting and you love the responding to the blockades and taking out a bunch of gang members, buddy, you're not meant to be in uppers. You're meant to be in SWAT. You're in the wrong field.
No, 100%. Now, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to itch and get some shooting in, but maybe you should worry about coming in and playing when we host operations if you want to get the, you know what I mean?
That's a really good idea, though. I 100% back. Honestly, I would show up for that. I would 100% show up for that every single day. I would love that, actually.
I want to do it once a week, and I was even thinking it's going to be a long shot. They might call me crazy for this, but considering Tuesday through Sunday we have so much going on throughout the days, and we only get a few hours here or there in between to do stuff and actually get our rest, why can't we do it on Mondays at some point? Maybe even like, between 12 and 2 at some point, because you got all morning to do your rest. You got we could do like anywhere from a 30-minute thing, for unit. And the only thing we got to worry about is the MGs. The MG meet, which is at a later time. It's like 6:30, and then you got the full PD meet at 9. So that's the only 2 things really going on throughout the day, and that's later in the evening. So if we could conduct a unit day anywhere said between 12 and 1, you got all morning until noon, and then and then now or there, anything after 1 o'clock, you got 4 to 5 hours in between before the MGs have to come to the meeting. But if you're not an MG, you have from 1 o'clock all the way on to 9 o'clock. So that's 8 more hours you got to get on and do rest and get out there and do 10, 12. So I don't think it would really be a problem to fit it in on a Monday, once a week Monday. Just add one more thing, keep it 30 minutes to an hour at most.
Hell yeah. Because with my charisma alone, and once we actually tell them what upper does, or once you tell them what SWAT actually does, or heat, or havoc as it's about to be called when I'm here, and hell, even dispatch, because I honestly feel bad for dispatch. I swear they got like 2 goddamn people.
Yeah, I feel bad for dispatch, but I mean, that when it was DS Incredible and I was running it, that second OIC, oh my god. DS left, I got first officer in command position, and oh my god, it ran like bread and butter. People loved me. Remember, I had Key was with me. I had the other dude there, Raymond. I had Nicholas Dawson. I had like a roster of like 10, 11, 12 people in dispatch. It was awesome. Then once I left, within 6 days, it was pretty much no more.
But also, before Bob Blacker loses his track, and right, this is the big idea, okay? And I'm going to start off by saying this before I continue. I want a new slot on the, and this might be hard to accomplish, I know, but I want a new slot on the Discord forums, or maybe just revert an old one that's not really being used, and I want it to be called What I Learned Today, okay? Because I've met a dozen officers, hell, probably more than that, who become badged officers, and despite being taught in class, or despite being, because we don't teach this in class if I'm being honest either, or despite this and that or the other, for some reason they either are shaky on arrest or they don't know how to do arrest. And you'll find, and I've also had a bunch of unbadged cops come into me saying, oh, this vested officer said I couldn't go out with them, or this vested officer said I wasn't allowed to do this or that. And right, what the unbadged, what I learned today section will be on Discord is essentially one, just like we require it to you to get 6 arrests every week. Okay, also that just reminded me of my next point, but I'll get over that in a minute. Just like we require you to get 6 arrests a week, I think we should start requiring start requiring these vested officers who sign up for this FTO shit to take out at least 2 unbadged officers a week and teach them how to do reports, but not really, because let me explain. The cadets would be doing reports almost like they're filing a police report, but it's not a police report. They would submit their body cam from when they rode along with whatever vested officer they rode with, and then they would submit a small report of what I learned today, and then it would be like TO, which stands for training officer, fucking UN, which stands for unbadged, and that would be their name, and then what I learned today, so it would be WILT, which is their WILT report, what I learned today, and it would kind of look something almost like a police report so they could learn how to type them up in the frig, because give me one small second and I'll type an example. See, except they'd type it up like that inside of the Discord, so that way they could get used to. And again, TO stands for training officer, or again FTO, whichever one you want. But it would essentially allow them to start learning how to use the Discord and learn how to properly submit police reports and arrest and booking reports. Because once they become a badge and start arresting people, they can just apply the same knowledge and be like, okay, well, this is almost like I was fucking filing a police report, right? You take a picture of your training officer, almost like you're doing a mugshot, right? You take a picture of yourself, okay? You submit your body cam, just like in an arrest report, and then you go under the what I learned today section and you submit your report from what you learned. And also, these vested officers, hold on, Mr. ABK, these vested officers should also be submitting reports from the guys they took out. Like, say somebody comes right now and takes Mr. Junior ABK out, and they come back and they submit their training report for the day. Like, hey, Junior ABK is a really good listener. He's got a good set of taser skills. He knows what he's doing, but sometimes he does have trouble following the small orders, but can carry out big tasks, right? Something like that. And then that way we could see what vested officers are actually doing their jobs and which ones are just out there doing absolutely nothing with the FTO position except riding around and enjoying how great their vest looks on them.
Right, I agree 100%. We'll talk more about this.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because, again, a lot of these unbadged officers like Mr. Junior ABK, matter of fact, Mr. Junior, come over here, sir. Let me ask you a question. Do you know any at all how to submit an arrest on Discord?
No, sir. I don't, sir.
Yep, my point exactly. Literally my point exactly. That he has no idea, nobody taught him. Can you drop your 10-4 macro, sir?
My what?
Your 10-4 floppy, boss. I need you to drop your 10-4 floppy for me.
My 10. Okay, sorry.
10-4 copy, macro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I don't have 1040 probably, bro. Yes, I don't have 1040.
It's 10-4. Like how I just put a 10-4 copy that, throw it up in there.
And that's also another thing. Notice how this guy, see, he's a level 1. Level 2, he's literally about to get his badge, and yet he has no idea how to post arrest. Because the vested officers aren't doing their job. They're not carrying through with this. Like, this is what I'm saying.
Just
This is something that should be going over in class, more or less that reasoning. So that's more or less the teacher's fault. But you see how when we go over the key points and the subjects of stuff that we see every day. Like you know how I teach. You know I may stutter a little bit, but I get the subjects touched and I make sure everyone knows what I burn things into people's head is what I'm trying to say. And I know you're the same way.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it's not Mr. Junior ABK's fault, but this is something that, again, I don't even feel like we need to waste up class time with it because we already have so much stuff we go over. The vested officers who do this on a daily because they have to do it, because they literally will get demoted if they don't, the vested officers who do this on a daily should be taking these unbadged out, and they should be showing them, hey, this is how you do an arrest. This is how you submit it. And then they should be practicing that skill themselves. Again, my idea is picked up, and they should be practicing that idea themselves when they submit their What I Learned Today report. And if an unbadged doesn't submit their What I Learned Today report, but they were very much clearly online and people saw them in body counts, well, now I'm about to ask, what exactly have you been doing all day if you haven't been out there learning like you're supposed to?
Right. I get that. That's what I mean. It's also that might be a little bit hard. I don't know how I feel about that one either. I mean, I like the idea of it. I just don't like the idea of the unbadged going out because I see a lot of unbadged that just don't say. They'll just yeah, and then you get out there and the first thing they're doing is getting out of the cars.
But that's why there's also a good idea. We figure out which unbadged officers are actually. Sorry about that. We figure out which unbadged officers are actually listening, which ones are applying the skills and actually here to do what they told, and which ones are just going to waste our time and end up getting themselves fired because they clearly don't know how to listen and follow basic orders. That's a good weed out, which is why the vested would also be reporting back to us.
You're right about that. I think that I think it could work. It could work. I don't know how it's gonna work now. I think we have more of a chance with the interviews than the unit day at this point in time. I feel like we'd have more of a chance with those two compared to that one.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's a long shot, but I do feel like it's a good long shot. It's not a bad idea. It could use some fine tuning. Maybe some more ideas, maybe mix it a little, but I 100% feel as though it's a good idea. Like, right? Like legit Knight, he's one of the better FTOs I've seen out here, and he's actually trying. Like, I feel like if he was paired up with Junior ABK and he submitted, and legit Knight submitted his report on Mr. Junior ABK, and Junior ABK submitted his report, we would actually come to learn a lot from these people, and it also may help because once the unbadged get their badge and are able to start riding and talking with people, they'll know who they want to ride with and they'll know who they click with. And you know what? Maybe if they're riding with somebody from Upward, come unit day, they can be like, oh, I want to join Upward because they've seen how Upward gets you down. But if they're riding with somebody from SWAT, maybe they want to join SWAT because they're like, oh, I know where I'm going unit day. I rode with a bunch of SWAT officers. I know what I want to do.
Right. I I gotta go do this. I gotta go do something I know, so I'll catch up with you later.
Hell yeah, I had one more small idea, but it can wait.
Alright, yeah, if anything, if you remember it, talk to me in a bit.
Actually, I might body cam and then I'll send the body cam to you as well whenever I whenever I upload it to YouTube later.
Alright, awesome. I'll see you in a bit, bud.
Fantastic. See you later, Austin. All right, let's see. Mr. Junior ABK, sir, you were first up here. How may I help you today?
Today I asked one of your clients. He told me like we got training at 8 like.
Sir, you're breaking up real hard, boss. Boss, you're breaking up real hard. I can barely understand you.
Yeah, like we got training, and which I really need the training around this time right now. I don't know where the training is taking place. He told me the training will be.
Trainings take place floor 0 if one is happening.
The training right now, I just want to know.
I'm not sure, but if it is happening, go down to the floor 0, look in the gym. If they're in the gym, then one is happening right now.
All right, okay, so.
All right, Legit Knight, you were next up, boss.
I don't even know what's going on. I just clocked in.
Oh, I was just using you as a training manual. Appreciate that.
I don't know anything about nothing, man. I only been here 6 months.
I'm not falling for that, Legit. I ain't falling for that.
What?
I know what you're doing. All right, Miss Turner, you're next, ma'am.
What do you mean, sir? I'm just the janitor around here.
I don't believe that. Lying, lies, all over the place lying.
No, I've been in PD since the beginning of this year. I had retired, and when I came back, well, that's why you didn't see me.
I knew it. But Miss Nana Turner, ma'am, how may we help you today?
I already did my training earlier today, but I was wondering when the next one was because they said that we have to do 2.
Have you had 2 trainings overall, or this is your first training?
This would be my first one.
But you've had 2 classes?
Yes.
Okay, so the trainings normally happen after the 5 p.m. class or the 10 p.m. class if the guys teaching it want to be so nice as to do one. Which I don't know of it, but I'm the guy that's teaching the 5 p.m. class, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing one afterwards, but the 10 p.m. class, somebody should definitely be doing one afterwards, which will be right on time, because then you'll be able to get your badge right after that if you're ready for your rank up. And also, trainings happen sporadically throughout the day. Like, somebody could just throw up a training right now if they wanted to.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. If there's a training happening, I'll hit you up and be like, training, get here now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Also, Legit, I guess I'll talk to you. My last idea, and I'm saying this into the mic, so because I'm sending this to Tony and Gent, because I'm running my ideas by him. My last idea was for Uppard, where if you're a part of the Uppard unit and you're supposed to get 6 arrests minimum per week, these arrests would count towards your overall 6. But I feel like you should be getting like maybe 1 or 2 arrests at the hospital, because again, you're a part of Uppard, and then maybe another 2 arrests at a job site, whether it be taxi, money courier, mechanic job, I don't care where, as long as it's at a job site. And then your other 2 arrests, well, 1 arrest can be on Uppard, and then your other arrest, I don't care, you can get it on the moon if you want to. Uppard would be the guys to patrol the moon, which I think is a good idea. Because then, as an Uppard MG, if I'm going to the arrest logs and I'm looking at your reports and your body cams, I should see you getting arrested inside of places that Uppards patrol. If you're not, then something's wrong.
Oh, yeah. So, do you know Uppard's previous name?
The circus.
CSED.